was almost 21 at the time, and I was a junior in college. My grandparents owned a nice, luxurious cabin up by Lake Tahoe. We go to the cabin about 2 to 3 times a year. It was going to be a pretty snowy week. I was really looking forward for it. Our family was going to the cabin for winter break, so me and my brother were going to meet them up there. I could already see the snow 1 hour into the drive. We hit this little town called Tonopah, and we needed some gas, so we hit the nearest gas station we could find. The gas station wasn't anything special. We noticed that most of the gas pumps weren't working, so we were considering going to the 7-Eleven that was down the street. But to my great surprise, my brother found a pump that worked. I so while we were filling up the car, we noticed a very small but muscular man that kind of looked off, staring through the restaurant window. There was something weird about him I couldn't explain. About a minute later, our gas pump was done filling up our car, and my brother had to take a piss. So I decided while he was going to do his thing, I was going to go buy a Gatorade to drink for myself. When I walked into the gas station, I noticed the man was sitting right in front of the entrance door. Like I couldn't just walk in his way, he was in the way. We had a good 10 seconds stare down, and then he just walked back toward the restaurant. I then ran back to the car, and then waited for my brother for at least 5 minutes, until I realized something was going on. I decided to text him and say, "Where are you?" Seconds later, I got a text that said, "The man that was staring at us is trying to break in the bathroom." It wouldn't be weird if the guy was trying to get into a multiple-person bathroom, but this was a one-person only bathroom, so it was real creepy. I then told my brother to shove the door right open and book it to our car. He did just that. Seconds later, we were back on the road. This part scares me the most. My brother told me, "Man, my wife and 3 kids were looking into renting a cabin. We looked through every site and all the cabins are either too expensive or booked. We decided to try Airbnb, and this was when Airbnb was really new, so we had no idea of what it was going to be like. We found a really nice 3 bedroom and 2 bath cabin that was only an hour and a half away from our house, and the price was really good. It almost seems like it was too good to be true." I told my wife and 3 kids about this, and they were ecstatic. So we booked for only one night, and we drove off to the cabin. When we got to the cabin, the whole area and cabin was pitch black. Mind this, the cabin was near to any cabins. For miles, it was off the freeway and on this 15-minute long dirt road. If you were to see any cars come by, it would look really weird because you would seriously have to look for this place. The owners of this property told us that we have the whole cabin for ourselves for the night and the next day. They told us to get in the cabin. You have to go in the backyard and you have to get the key under the back doormat. When I was done with doing that, I heard a sound of a crumpling leaves maybe a few feet away from me. I looked behind them and I was disturbed. This will never leave my mind. I saw that couple that owned the property holding kitchen knives. The couple was charging at me, and I booked it all the way back to my car and literally threw my kids in the car while I was screaming at my wife to start the car. We were going 90 all the way back until we hit the highway. When we hit the highway, we got some missed calls from the cabin owners. This part disturbs me the most. About 2 hours after we got home, the owner sent me a picture of our house and said, "We know exactly where you live, and if you tell anyone about what happened, we will make sure your lives will be horrible." I haven't told my kids and even my wife about that part. I try to forget about this part. Every once in a while, it comes just fresh in my mind. This happened to me 3 years ago. I was 14. My family owns a cabin, and I'm an only child, so I get my own room in this cabin up by Big Bear, California. I was home alone for a couple hours because my parents were going out to see some friends that lived nearby our cabin. They left at around 6:30 and said they wouldn't be home no later than midnight. Knowing I would be home alone for almost 6 hours, I could do whatever I wanted. I was about an hour since my parents left, and I was getting so hungry and was too lazy to make my own food. I ordered some pizza from some nearby pizza place. They said it will only take about 15 minutes. So a minute or two later, I heard a knock at the door. thinking, oh sweet, the pizza guy was really quick. When I went to go open the door, no one was there, but I did hear some footsteps on the side of the house. I thought it was some ding-dong ditchers, so I went back inside my house. 5 minutes later, I heard a very slight tap on one of the kitchen windows. I went to go check it, but I couldn't see anything. It was too dark. About 10 minutes later, I heard another knock on the door. So I opened the door, and it was the pizza guy, but he looked very frightened. I asked him what's wrong, and he said there is a crazy shirtless man on the side of your house and has a machete in his pocket. Being the crazy, dumb 14-year-old I told him that I'm home alone and I have no clue what to do instead of calling the cops. But the man was so kind that he said he would take me to my parents. So the man drove me off and dropped me off at my parents' friend's house. And when I got to the door and knocked, my parents were very surprised and were thinking, what was I doing? I told my parents about what happened. They called the cops, and the cops did a complete search on the area around our cabin and the cabin, but they could not find him. They never found the man. Now my family and some cousins have Christmas at our cabin. It still disturbs me knowing that a crazy man knows exactly where I live and is still out there.